By the early 1980s, Michael Jackson was already a household name as the youngest brother of the popular singing group the Jackson 5. But it was his second release from his sixth solo album, Thriller, which catapulted the performer into legendary stardom. With its hypnotic and captivating groove, Billie Jean sounded unlike anything else of its time, and with its release, the song revolutionized the entire popular music industry of the time. Hello there, it's Warren Hewitt here. I hope you're doing marvellously well. Welcome back to another episode of the series. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and if you hit the notification bell, you'll be notified when we have a new video. And if you're into production, you can go to producelikeapro.com and sign up for the email list and get a whole bunch of free goodies. Michael Jackson's career began in 1965 with his family vocal group, the Jackson 5. In 1968, the group was picked up by Motown, and by the decade's end, they were one of the label's biggest acts. Even though he was the youngest brother of the group, Michael quickly emerged as the leading star. He began releasing solo albums in 1972 with Motown Records, while still performing and recording with the Jackson 5. Got to Be There and Ben, both in 1972, Music and Me in 1973, and Forever, Michael in 1975. In 1975, most of the family moved from Motown to Epic Records, changing the group's name to the Jacksons. Meanwhile, Michael continued to develop his independent projects, including starring as the Scarecrow in the film musical The Wiz, alongside Diana Ross in 1978. It was while working on The Wiz that he began his partnership with Quincy Jones, who agreed to produce Michael's next solo record, Off the Wall. Jones also brought in engineer Bruce Swedium to record and mix the album, another partnership which would continue across some of Michael's biggest hits. All three would work together on Michael's magnum opus, his sixth solo album, released in 1982, Thriller. Thriller was a game-changing album in so many ways. Songwriting, production, and even music videos, and contained several massive hit singles. It was the second single from Thriller, Billie Jean, which catapulted Michael into unprecedented success as a solo artist, establishing many of the iconic elements which would define his performances and transforming the popular music industry both sonically and commercially. The narrative in Billie Jean was inspired by the experience of growing up as young teen idols in Jackson 5. Producer Quincy Jones has stated in interviews that Michael told him a specific story of a woman who claimed that he was the father of twins. But in his 1988 autobiography, Moonwalk, Michael explained that while the general inspiration behind the song was real, it was not based on a single individual or experience. It was never a real Billie Jean. The girl in the song is a composite of people my brothers had been plagued with over the years. I could never understand how these girls could say they were carrying someone's child when it wasn't true. Michael took these experiences and transformed them into a narrative tale of late-night dancing, temptation, and the fallout. The chorus offers a fervent denial of any paternal possibilities. Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one, but the kid is not my son. However, the doubt is always there. He recalls warnings from his mother. Be careful of who you love and be careful of what you do, and describes the photo of the baby who has eyes like his own. The doubt and the mystery is part of what makes this song's narrative so captivating. Add to that a haunting, percussive groove and that sparse texture, and the song is quite brilliant. Michael credits the bass line as the initial drive of the song for him. It was going around in my head, and that's all I was thinking about. We were getting off the freeway when a kid on a motorcycle pulls up to us and says, "Your car's on fire." Suddenly we noticed the smoke and pulled over. The whole bottom of the Rolls Royce was on fire. The kid probably saved our lives. If the car had exploded, we could have been killed. But I was so absorbed by this tune floating in my head, I didn't even focus on the awful possibilities until later. So here is the bass line by Louis Johnson. Which is doubled on bass synth. Here's the bass synth on its own. Together. I've just got to put the kick and snare in. Oh yeah. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, what a great line. I'm going to grab the guitar here just to, that it's... Oh, so cool. And I love how there's this chord changes going over the top, but the line just stays constant. It's interesting how in a lot of modern music now, these ideas are there all the time, like simple repetitive ideas, but with other melodic elements changing over the top. This song is well ahead of its time. To me, the strings with the bass is what makes it so mesmerizing. The two elements of the bass is what gives it that awesome color. So let's listen to the kick, the snare, the bass with the strings. So the strings is the CS80, which on the record is credited to Michael. I love how it stays on that one, and then when it moves to the 4, it just feels natural. It's just like a release of like, we got there. What a moment that. It's such a simple line that hits you straight away, and you just think to yourself, why didn't I write that? Well, Michael Jackson had made his career initially as a vocalist only. His voice was a young soprano as a kid, but his expression was so mature. And that was part of what impressed audiences so much. As he grew older, he kept singing in his high register, but now that adult expression was so much more meaningful. In a song like Billie Jean, the added vocal flourishes and breathy delivery really brings out the haunting story that he tells in the lyrics. Let's check out the vocal with just those elements.
She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said don't mind, but what do you mean? I am the one who would dance on the floor and around. She said I am the one who would dance on the floor and around. She told me her name was Billie Jean as she caused a scene. Then heavy hair turned with the eyes that dreamed of being the one who would dance.
Let's listen to that vocal in solo for a second. Michael's timing and groove is impeccable. He just knows how to add percussively to the music, sit on it, sit in it, play around with it. Listen to the solo vocal. It will make your hairs stand on end.
She was more.
First of all, you hear the snap there? That's in the vocal track. That's there. It's in the record.
She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said don't mind, but
you're not taking that out of the vocal. That's in the vocal. And I don't remember hearing it specifically as a kid when this came out, but it adds to the feel, the groove, everything. She was more like... Unbelievable.
She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said don't mind, but what do you mean? I am the one who would dance on the floor and the round. She said, I am the one who would dance on the floor in the round. She told me her name was Billie Jean as she caused a scene. Then heavy hair turned with the eyes that dreamed of being the one who would dance on the floor and around. People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. And mother always told me, be careful who you love, and be careful what you do, 'cause the lie becomes the truth. Hey, the Billie Jean is not my love. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one, but the kid is not my son. Woo! She says I am the one, but the kid is not my son. No, no.
I mean, it's tear-jerkingly good, isn't it? It's so expressive. The pocket is incredible. If I just put that up against any instrument, anything, I'm going to put it up against the synth bass and the kick and snare.
She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said, don't mind, but what do you mean? I am the one who would dance on the floor in the round. She said, I am the one who would dance on the floor in the round.
Real bass. Strings. Synth strings.
She told me her name was Billie Jean as she caused a scene. Then heavy hair turned with the eyes that dreamed of being the one.
I think the musicianship and the recording is so impeccable and so beautiful. The groove and the feel of this track is so immense that it allows Michael to play with it. Those little expressions in his voice, the way he uses breaths as pieces of percussion. I mean, I don't remember anybody doing that before. Maybe they did. I'm sure there's many great blues and soul artists that have used that technique, but Michael brought it to the forefront. It really, I mean, it was just mind-blowing when it came out. Mind-blowing. So good. What an incredibly expressive vocalist. What an incredible team to have a producer as incredible as Quincy Jones and an engineer as amazing as Bruce Swedien that could not make that a problem. Clipping fingers, breaths and stuff like that. I've been in a room with 100 producers as an engineer who's like, oh, I don't like those tapping noises and stuff like that. No, all of that is what makes Michael amazing and unique. Billie Jean was recorded at Westlake Recording Studios in Los Angeles alongside the rest of the Thriller album. The song features the talents of Leon Ndugu Chancellor on drums, David Williams on guitar, Lewis Johnson played bass on the track, and had to record it on several different instruments before Quincy Jones settled on a Yamaha bass for the colour he wanted on the song. Tom Scott was brought in to play a Lyricon, which is an electric wind instrument, essentially a wind synthesizer. Michael Boddicker is credited for the EMU emulator, which was a revolutionary technology at the time, a newly affordable sampler, which was relatively portable and could be performed in a live setting. So here's the EMU, and they're crediting it the ooze as being part of it. It's the English horn part. And Greg Phillinganes played synthesizer and the Rhodes. Jerry Hay made the string arrangement while Jeremy Lubbock conducted the players. So let's check out the string arrangement. So here is its violins and cello. throw it into this like really super rough mix.
People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. But she came and stood right by me. Just a smell of sweet perfume. This happened much too soon. She called me to her room. Hey, the Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not mine.
Guitar part, so good. We have to go in and focus on that for a second. Sorry. It's just really, really cool. And then there's like a delayed and modulated one on the other side. It's the same guitar, but have a listen to this. Delayed and detuned and panned. Now that guitar part is really quite spectacular. I still to this day think it's two guitar parts together. The funkiness of that part, only because of this going the whole time, and the sustain of that, because you hear the slide. So he could be just holding the note down and still doing it, which would be like, it's tough because otherwise it's. So you don't want to pull your finger off that. Either way, it's brilliantly funky and fantastic sounding. With so many sounds on this track, you would expect it to be a thick, dense sound, but the individual elements are all spread out and sparse, creating an underlying tension and unsettling atmosphere. Calling the project, Phil and Gaines reflected, Billie Jean is hot on every level. It's hot rhythmically, it's hot sonically, because the instrumentation is so minimal, you can hear really everything. It's hot melodically, lyrically and vocally. It affects you physically, emotionally, even spiritually. Bruce Swedien mixed the song an unprecedented 91 times before Quincy Jones settled back on a modified version of the second version. Swedien explained that all of these different instrument colors and remixing was part of Jones's search for the perfect sonic personality. He concluded, "See if you can think of any piece of music where you can hear the first 3 drum beats and know what the song is. That's what I call sonic personality." Quincy Jones was the producer, but apparently he and Michael had very different predictions about the song's potential. Michael claims to have been convinced that the song was a future hit. He explained in his autobiography, "A musician knows hit material. Everything has to feel in place. It fulfills you and it makes you feel good. That's how I felt about Billie Jean. I knew it was going to be big when I was writing it." Jones, however, had more reservations. He was concerned about the title, which he believed would draw associations with tennis star Billie Jean King. He wanted to rename the song Not My Lover. He also had concerns about the length of the introduction and wasn't convinced by the demo version that Michael had produced. What did convince Jones, though, was when Michael told him the song made him want to dance. When it came to dance music, Jones trusted Michael Jackson implicitly. Michael Jackson's deep-rooted understanding of dance music and his skills as a performer absolutely transported the song to a whole different level. His performance of the song at the TV special Motown 25, Yesterday, Today, Forever, introduced the world to many of his now iconic dance moves like the moonwalk. Likewise, the music video for Billie Jean is just as important as the song. Directed by Steve Barron and released in 1983, just a couple of months after the January 2nd release of the song as a single. According to Walter Yetnikoff, MTV was hesitant to play the music video, citing that they didn't believe a black artist would appeal to their audience base. But even before the music video could transform music television, the song was revolutionizing popular music. It took only 3 weeks for Billie Jean to top the Billboard Hot 100 and the Billboard Hot Black Singles charts. His fastest rising #1 single since 1970, Jackson 5 singles like ABC and I'll Be There. Its sparse and mesmerizing color brought popular dance music into a new sonic world, blending together funk and disco with rock and pop. Billie Jean won 2 Grammys, one for Best R&B Male Vocal Performance and one for Best Rhythm and Blues Song. It also won an American Music Award. In 2000, Rolling Stone and MTV named it the 6th greatest pop song since 1963. In 2008, BBC Radio 2 listeners voted it the greatest dance record of all time. And the song remains in heavy rotation at dance clubs and venues worldwide. No matter what accolades can be given to the song, you cannot underestimate its influence even the tiniest bit. The album before this, Off the Wall, is an absolute, complete and utter masterpiece of funk and disco blended with R&B and pop and everything. And this one went even further. Both are absolute masterpieces. This album just changed the game. As you can see, it completely changed MTV's programming. It brought music like this into a mainstream. Michael Jackson, as a performer, is second to none. His vocal performances are pitch perfect, timed incredibly. His expressiveness is unbelievable. And the music that Quincy produced around him is undeniably some of the greatest music ever made. Bruce Swedian is easily one of the greatest engineers. Every musician that played on this will probably say it's the greatest thing they've ever recorded. There is a reason why Thriller is considered one of the best albums of all time, is arguably the biggest selling album of all time, and had multiple singles. In fact, I'm just going to look it up here because I didn't write it down. Let's have a quick look up. How many singles were on this record? And it has 7 singles. 7 singles. It's ridiculous. It has 9 songs. 7 singles on a 9-song album. And if I read you the singles, The Girl Is Mine, absolutely hauntingly beautiful, beautiful song. Billie Jean, amazing. Beat It. Oh, Steve Lukather playing the guitar and the bass, with Eddie Van Halen playing the solo. Unbelievable. Wanna Be Starting Something? Wanna Be Starting Something? What a song. Human Nature. Oh, what a beautiful, beautiful song. PYT, Pretty Young Thing. And last but no means least, of course, Thriller. That was the 7th single. What an absolute masterpiece. I can't think of any reputable person I know in the music industry that doesn't believe that this is one of the greatest pieces of recorded music ever. And the fact that Michael was able to be such an incredible performer for it, I mean, he sold it. They put the music on, it was undeniable. But his performances of it are just mind-blowing. So we're going to go out, and I'm just going to put a little bit, drop somewhere in the middle on this vocal track, and let's just hear a little bit more of Michael singing. We'll go a little bit near the end of it.
Says I'm the one, but the kid is not my son. No. Woo! The Billie Jean is not my love.
That is a man who's having fun in the studio, is in the pocket, in the groove, and nailing it.
Says I'm the one, but the kid is not my son. No. Woo! The Billie Jean is not my love. She's just a gal who claims that I am the one, but the kid is not my son. No, baby.
Beautiful. Thank you ever so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Leave any comments and questions below. Let us know what other artists, what other songs, what other albums, whatever producers, engineers, songwriters that you want us to feature. Thank you ever so much for watching. Thank you. Sayonara. Adios. Adio. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss. Heido. So long. Farewell.